Greetings, everyone. I'm Madison Pollock. I'm Director of Community Engagement with AARP Indiana. I am joined by someone who has been absent lately.
I've been out on vacation, but I'm Emily Gorman, the other Director of Community Engagement at AARP Indiana. And big shout out to our colleague Mel Bolander, who jumped in and ran the show with you last week and did a fantastic job. So props to her.
Absolutely. Big props to Mel. I was glad to have her on board, but Emily, it's good to have you back.
Same Z's.
It's just nice. It's nice to have the team back together. So just wanted to say that I'm excited to talk to our guest today. For those who aren't aware, if you haven't seen our previous videos, we are really highlighting our community challenge grant winners for this year. So on June 28th, AARP, our national office, announced that the chosen grantees for 2023 for the Community Challenge Grant Program. These are organizations from across the Hoosier State that are working to make their communities more livable for residents of all ages. You may have heard in our live announcement, the one that I did with Mel, that Emily and I are referencing. AARP Indiana is planning to interview every single grantee for this year. We can't guarantee that because of scheduling and whatnot, but we have 7 grantees and we're going to do our best to talk to all of them. So last week you heard us talk to our friend Jerry Raridan down in Wesselman Woods Nature Preserve down in Evansville, Indiana. And today we are joined by our friend Morgan Sparks, who is the president of Grow Jasonville, Inc. It's located in Jasonville, which is in Greene County, Indiana. So it's the southwestern part of the state. If Morgan's available, let's bring her on.
Hi.
Hey, Morgan. Hey, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Doing well. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Emily, do you want to kick it off with our first question?
Yeah, our first question is just really simple. Morgan, I was hoping that maybe you could tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do with Grow Jasonville.
Sure. So I am the president of Grow Jasonville, and Grow Jasonville, we are really a new nonprofit. We've only been around for right at a year, and our focus is on revitalizing our community. We've gone through the process to become an Indiana Main Street group, and we're just a group of individuals in our town that are really passionate about making Jasonville a better place to live.
That's really cool. That's my favorite type of nonprofit, like the community-based revitalization or activation type group. So love your mission. Super glad that we were able to play a small part in this project that we have lined up. So speaking of the project, it has to do with the heritage. It's the Heritage Block project. Can you tell us more about that? What is that project?
Yes. So the Heritage Block is one block in our community, and that's where Jasonville started. It was Jasonville's first block. It used to be a thriving block with lots of businesses, a lot of older buildings, and unfortunately, like has happened at least 3 times in our community, major fires took out those buildings. And so it has been left in disrepair. And so we've got the block is about, if you walk around it, it is exactly 0.25 miles. And it's right now, the front of it is right on Main Street, and those buildings are in disrepair. And then there's on the back corner, there is our Heritage Museum, which used to be an old jail and courtroom, which is a really, really cool building. And then we've got another building along the back, and Heritage Block is situated right at our only stoplight in town. So our goal is to bring that block back to life.
That's amazing. I remember reading the application, and I think Addison mentioned this was one of 80 applications that we had in the state of Indiana. And so yours it particularly stood out. And I remember specifically, you had a lot of components that involved how this project would benefit seniors in the community. And I wondered if you could talk a little bit more about what your hopes are in terms of seniors through this project.
Absolutely. So specifically with this project, we want to make it very walkable. So right now it doesn't have accessible sidewalks. There's no signage. There are no benches or anything like that. So what we want to do is we want to make it to where you can walk all the way around safely. So we've got to cut out some curbs so that it's also very wheelchair accessible. We're going to add benches. We're going to add signage. And it just makes a place to where people don't have to get in their cars and drive out to the state park or drive to another community to walk outside. They can just walk right down Main Street and have this space that they can know that, okay, one lap around is 0.25 miles. If I do 4 laps, then I've walked a mile.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
It's a nice metric for locals, just like,
Mhm.
hey, I'm getting my
Yeah.
steps in. That's super
Mhm.
cool. Yeah, and I know in the application there was description of just like how this would really connect a lot of retail and just community amenities along the block. So that's so exciting. Is there anything in particular that you're looking forward to with this project? Do you have like a favorite aspect of it or something that you're just excited about?
Yes. So personally, my favorite aspect is we are going to paint a crosswalk from the Heritage Block. Right across the street is our community garden that was started last year. Um, I am very passionate about working with the youth in our community, and that the community garden came from an idea from working with the youth at our school, and then the crosswalk idea was also an idea that our youth wanted. So I love that we've added that component to bring in something that the youth are really excited about.
That is amazing. I love adding in all the different components. The community challenge grants are quick action grant projects, and so I wondered if there are any elements that you can share that you're hoping will build upon this project in future. Once this portion is completed, what are the next steps for that area in Jasonville?
So the next steps, we purchased one of the buildings that has gone into disrepair. That's right there in the block. So we are working on revitalizing that particular building, and we want to create a nice event space.
Whoa, that's cool. That's
Yeah.
really cool. Will Grow Jasonville have like will they be managing that space or is it to be determined at this point?
Our goal is to manage that space. So that
Very
way
cool.
that can be um, some revenue stream for us that we can put right back into the community.
Love it. That's
Mhm.
amazing. Um, you know, Morgan, it's been a quick conversation so far. Is there anything you want to plug or mention that we haven't touched on thus far before we sign off today?
Um, we are just a group that's trying to make Jasonville better. Um,
Absolutely.
and we've got some little projects along the way. We are so excited to do this Heritage Block project. We were absolutely thrilled that we received the AARP grant. That's something we didn't expect. Being a brand new nonprofit, we put it in as a shot in the dark. So we were thrilled that we received it, and we are looking forward to seeing the domino effect of once something gets done in the community, people see that and they get excited, and then they start making their areas a little bit better. They find ways to plug in and get engaged, so you've got an increase in that civic self-esteem, and we're loving watching that happen, and I want to see more of that. And I think this Heritage Block project is really going to get that going.
Definitely.
That is awesome. It's going to spark some amazing changes and growth in your community. I'm really excited to see where it goes. And maybe, who knows, Addison and I can make it to Jasonville to come and see how the project is coming along. And
That would be
yeah,
great.
I'd love to see it firsthand. It sounds amazing. And yeah, props to you guys. Really impressive. And especially as a new not-for-profit.
Thank you.
So with that, I am going to say that we're reaching the end of the show, but I hope that our viewers stay tuned for future episodes. We'll be speaking to other Community Challenge grantees over the next few weeks, touching on some other projects across the state. So a huge thank you to Morgan for joining us today. I think that we have some contact information for you that we could pop up on the screen if people do want to reach out and find out any more. And I think that that's everything. So thank you for joining us today. Addison, is there anything else you want to add before we sign off?
No, I just want to reiterate my thanks to Morgan. We're thrilled to be included or involved in the Grow Jasonville project, and just happy to support it. So we're excited to see where that goes. And please continue to check back, viewers, check back on our Facebook page for interviews with other Community Challenge Grant winners. I think we have about 5 more that we're going to be doing. So yeah, just check it out every Friday. We'll be here. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you.